Have you ever yearned to be understood, to point out the contradictions in their words in the hope of finding common ground with a narcissist? Today they promise to change, but tomorrow it's back to square one. Your girlfriend complains that you don't spend enough time with her, but when you make an effort to plan a romantic evening, she's suddenly busy with a dozen excuses. In the end, what is the truth? The truth is, for narcissistic individuals, words are merely tools to paint an image of themselves. When needed, they become the pitiable victim. At other times, they transform into the busy, important person overwhelmed by responsibilities. They shift between countless facades, leaving you lost in a maze of lies. My dear friend, don't torment yourself over these contradictions. You cannot win this game because you're trying to cultivate a healthy relationship on the barren soil of narcissism. It's like building a house on quicksand. No matter how much effort you put into nurturing it, everything will eventually sink into uncertainty. But they say they love me, that they're working towards our future together. Is that what you want to tell me? Don't be so quick to believe those sweet words. Open your eyes and you'll see a vast gap between their words and actions. They make promises and swear vows, yet nothing changes in reality. The truth is, what they love isn't the real you, but rather the role you play in the relationship, a source of energy for their insatiable ego. All for our future together is just a smokescreen to cover their unexplained disappearances and unanswered calls. No matter how much you've tried to reach them, you need to accept a hard truth. You cannot change their nature. And don't waste your effort exposing them, because it won't solve anything. Sound confusing? Don't worry, let me explain it to you. Narcissists lack empathy to recognize their faults. One of the most glaring characteristics of narcissists is their alarming lack of empathy. They are like mirrors reflecting only their own image, blind to the emotions and thoughts of others. As a result, they are incapable of acknowledging their mistakes, no matter how much harm those mistakes cause to those around them. In their distorted worldview, they are always right, always flawless. When you attempt to point out their errors, instead of introspection, they immediately construct a defensive wall, turn the tables and place the blame on you. It's as if you, not them, are the ones sowing discord and creating trouble. For example, when you gently comment on their habit of breaking promises, instead of owning up to it and trying to improve, they might counterattack with statements like, "You're always nitpicking my faults," or, "If you're so perfect, why do we even have problems?" They skillfully reverse the situation, transforming you from the victim into the aggressor, leaving you drowning in guilt and self-doubt. Even when faced with blatant mistakes, they possess an astonishing ability to distort the truth. They embellish, exaggerate, or outright fabricate scenarios to make themselves appear as pitiable victims or reluctant heroes. Always remember, in their eyes, narcissists only ever assume three roles: the hero, the victim, or the intellectual superior. Therefore, don't expect remorse from them. If you decide to walk away and end the relationship, they quickly don't the guise of a repentant sinner. They will make extravagant promises about a bright future where they will change and do everything for you. Furthermore, they won't hesitate to paint additional wounds and injustices onto themselves, turning the narrative into a tragic tale. Even though they are the ones who caused your pain, they will cry, lamenting the unfair treatment they've endured. They'll recount tales of oppression and abuse inflicted by you, even if the truth is entirely the opposite. Have you ever wondered why narcissists only rush to feign remorse when their perfect mask is threatened? Is it genuine late-stage regret, or has some miracle transformed their hearts? The answer is simple. This performance is merely a tool to manipulate others' emotions, not a product of genuine heartfelt sincerity. This lack of empathy makes communicating with a narcissist extremely difficult. When you talk about your feelings and the pain you've endured, they don't listen or understand. Instead, they focus solely on protecting their fragile ego. All your efforts to connect and share feel like throwing salt into the ocean, an exercise in futility that only leaves you more exhausted and despairing. They will turn your words into an intense and all-out defense. Imagine standing in front of a distorted mirror. The reflection is twisted, bizarre, yet the person in the mirror insists that it's their true image. When you try to point out the reality, they become angry, accusing you of attempting to shatter the beautiful illusion they're so enamored with. That's exactly how a narcissist reacts to feedback. Psychologically healthy individuals seek growth and self-improvement. They value constructive criticism, viewing it as an opportunity to reflect and address the hidden corners of their inner selves. However, for a narcissist, their ego is both enormous and fragile, unable to tolerate any challenge to their self-perception. They cling to their delusions no matter how distorted, because those illusions are their only sense of safety. The more you try to pull them toward reality, the more fiercely they resist. They will use every tactic to protect their castle of pride, from blaming you, accusing you of causing tension or ruining their happiness, to hurling outrageous accusations like being controlling or overly critical. They'll cast themselves as the pitiable victim, while you, despite your good intentions, become the culprit responsible for all the chaos. In such situations, the wisest choice is to step back. Don't try to play God or force them to change. You're dealing with someone who is disconnected from themselves and those around them. All your efforts to fix them will be futile, like trying to build a castle in the sand. You may have spent your youth nurturing this relationship, only to find yourself now, when the truth is unveiled, feeling disillusioned and heartbroken. You may yearn to wake them up, to help them open their eyes to the truth. But remember, you are not their savior. You can love and share, but don't sacrifice yourself to shoulder the hidden corners of their soul. Leave that work to God, the greatest healer of all. Stop seeking their validation. If you're still holding on to hope that one day they will understand the pain they've caused or feel remorse for their actions, it's time to let go of this burden. Efforts to make them feel guilt or recognize their mistakes are like pouring water into a bottomless vase. A narcissist has neither the need nor the capacity for empathy to grasp your emotions, as their heart is bound by arrogance and selfishness. I understand you. When we are hurt, we long to be understood and comforted. But with people like this, seeking recognition will only lead to disappointment, not because you're unworthy, but because they are incapable of empathy. God reminds us, "Do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before pigs, lest they trample them underfoot and turn to attack you." Let the precious values in your heart be reserved for those who truly cherish them. What should you do? Stop engaging in their games. Don't try to argue, prove your point, or change their perspective. Arguments are merely traps to make you lose control. Instead, remember God's words. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46 verse 10. If you must interact with them, maintain a neutral attitude. Do not let your emotions be manipulated. Their criticism and provocations are mere tools to control you. Observe them as if watching a play. No reaction, no intervention, no being drawn in. Entrust all your worries to God, for He will protect you. When they can no longer create chaos or control you, they will feel powerless. Your silence and indifference are a powerful declaration. I belong to God. No one has authority over me except Him. In God you find freedom, and nothing, not even the most barren of souls, can take away the peace He has given you. Be patient and trust in God. God teaches us that patience and compassion are not only virtuous qualities, but also powerful tools to overcome great challenges. When dealing with self-centered individuals, instead of confronting or exposing them, let their actions and attitudes reveal their true nature. The truth, under the light of time and trust in God, can never remain hidden. When your soul feels drained by the pain inflicted upon you, seek comfort in God. He reminds us that peace does not come from defeating others, but from conquering the turmoil within ourselves. Take time to listen to your heart, rediscover your strength through prayer, and allow your soul to be guided by the light of forgiveness. When your heart is at peace, you'll free yourself from the snares of anger and revenge. God does not ask us to turn away from the truth, but He teaches us that some battles are better left for time and His righteousness to resolve. By choosing to remain calm, you create distance from toxic influences. Heated arguments and harsh rebuttals will no longer affect you, for your heart is shielded by the faith and strength God provides. The miracle lies in this: when you no longer engage, the narcissist will reveal their true colors. They cannot hide for long once they lose their grip of control, and the light of truth will shine brightly. At that moment, those around them will see clearly, not because of your criticism or judgment, but because their own behavior has painted the picture. God teaches that love and empathy are the pathways to healing, not only for yourself, but also for others suffering from the harm of toxic individuals. Open your heart to those who need support, but allow them to learn their lessons through their own experiences. The truth, while costly, always brings value. Trust that God's timing is perfect. The truth will emerge when it has the power to transform hearts. Patience is not passive waiting, but standing firm in the belief that He is always with you. In time, you will see that God's light will guide you, and peace will come to those who place their faith in His justice and love. Accepting the uncontrollable, stepping into freedom in God. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will act. Psalm 37 verse 5. In life you cannot control everything, especially the thoughts, actions, and words of others. Trying to change the mindset or behavior of a narcissist is like sacrificing your inner peace. Narcissists live in their selfish world, and any effort to intervene is not only futile, but will also leave you exhausted and disheartened. Instead of striving to control what is beyond your reach, focus on the one thing you can control: yourself. Take care of your physical and mental health. Practice gratitude and let go of negative emotions. This is not surrender, but true freedom, as you choose to entrust all your burdens to God. God does not call you to change others, but He does call you to be a light in the world. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12:21. By keeping your heart serene and focusing on meaningful things, you not only find peace, but also inspire others to see the truth through your actions. Surrender, let go, and walk in God's light. This is the path to true freedom and happiness. Dealing with a narcissist can be an immense challenge, but it's essential to remember that true strength does not lie in exposing or debating them. Narcissists often live in a world of selfishness and control, where any effort to make them see their mistakes or change will only drain your energy. They are unmoved by logic, untouched by emotions, and rarely feel accountable for the pain they cause. Attempting to name or confront their nature only entangles you deeper in the manipulative game they want you to play. Instead of being drawn into the vortex of arguments or striving to prove anything, focus on yourself. Your peace, confidence, and inner strength are things no one can take away from you. When you stop reacting in the ways they expect, you break the script they have set up. Rather than seeking validation or empathy from a barren heart, find your motivation in the love of those around you and the steadfast faith you have within. God teaches us that patience and forgiveness are the pathways to freedom. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12:21. By choosing to remain calm, live by your values, and avoid getting caught in toxic schemes, you affirm the freedom of your soul. This is a strength no one can control. Your life is worth far more than the exhausting task of trying to change someone who doesn't want to change. Allow time, truth, and their actions to reveal their nature. Live with gratitude, joy, and the peace you deserve. In your silence and strength, there is a declaration that you are no longer part of their cycle. And that is the greatest victory, not defeating them, but but conquering yourself, moving toward a life of freedom, peace, and wholeness.